Okay, great. So, yes, and those of you on Zoom, if you weren't here when we first tuned in, well, hello. The Wi-Fi was a little problematic this morning, so if we lose contact, hopefully it will come back shortly. All right, so past couple of weeks we've been working on this Tai Chi Qigong form, and so we've talked about this before, but I feel like it's worth mentioning again, and it's also a topic that I think you can never plumb the depths absolutely, so we can just keep going deeper with it. But these are two Chinese words translated as, or they're in Chinese, it's Wu Wei, which many of you may be familiar with. It's talked a lot about in martial arts, in the tradition of Taoism. Wu Wei typically is translated as non-action. And so bringing this up because we've been learning this form, and there's a lot, to it at times, a lot to keep track of, and like, are we doing it right? Is this how it's supposed to be done? And all of that. And so Wu Wei is like non-effort is one translation. I wanted to also just go a little bit deeper into the characters to kind of understand the meaning better than non-action, because I don't know if that's really fully accurate. So we've talked before, Wu, this basically, it doesn't mean no, it means not. Like not this, not that. Because it's a picture of a person spinning around like a whirling dervish to the point where they just become a pillar of light. It's like, so, they're not a person, they're not a person, they're a pillar of light, but they're more than that. It's kind of the idea of boundlessness. It's not this, it's not that, it's beyond. Beyondness is kind of the Wu. Wei is a picture of a hand leading an elephant. So it would make sense that like if you're trying to lead an elephant, especially if the elephant doesn't want to go where you're leading it, it's going to take some effort, right? The thing that I love about this image, though, is that if we take away the hand, because this is two radicals, the hand leading the elephant, if it's just the image of the elephant itself, that is a different word in Chinese. It means xiang, which basically translates as a kind of resonant vibration. It's something that hasn't yet come into form. It's like, if you hear a sound or you hear like a song, a tune, and it's like, what is that song? I'm not sure what it is yet. It's like, that's the xiang. It hasn't become form of like, oh, it's that song. Now we've led the elephant into being something, into a form. And so when it's not being led anywhere, it's just the image. It's just the resonant vibration. It's almost like a reflection of something that maybe is a little unclear. So that's this idea of effort. So it's like not doing that, not leading the elephant into being something, not taking this idea of something and creating it into something. And another thing I really like about just that it's a hand leading an elephant or a hand really reaching for a reflection is that, in Eastern art, there's a famous image of a monkey hanging from a branch on a tree, reaching for a reflection of the moon in the water. And so that's a very, powerful image, like the monkey being our monkey mind, swinging from branch to branch, and then it's like, ooh, something shiny, what's that? And what it's reaching for is a reflection of the moon. So, not only is the moon itself a reflection of light from the sun, but we have the moon then reflected in this pool of water that we're looking for. And what that image of the monkey reaching for the reflection of the moon is suggesting to us is that, one, it's kind of dangerous because we don't know if the monkey reaches too far, he could fall out of the tree. Does the monkey know how to swim? Is there something in the water that might, like alligators or something, waiting for the monkey? Is it rocky? Not only that, but also, if the monkey succeeded in grasping the image of the moon in the water, it's going to disrupt the image and it's going to go away. So as soon as he thinks he has it, it's gone. It's no longer there. So, what the invitation is rather than reaching for the reflection of the moon, you could sit in the tree. And even looking at the reflection of the moon in the water, that might lead you to the moon. Maybe, maybe not. Either way, there's a relationship that's happening, as opposed to this grasping for something, trying to grab it and hold it. Because as soon as you try to, it's gone. And so again, a hand reaching for an image of something. Don't do that, is what Wu Wei is suggesting to us. Like, allow things to just be what they are without our notions of what they should be or what it means, whatever we think they are. Because whatever we think they are, that may be partially true, but there's more to it than that, because it's really boundless. It's not this or that. It's beyond any of that. And so just something to remember as we're practicing these forms, because it is easy. It can be challenging, and it's like, oh, I'm never going to get this, or this is hard, or, oh, I'm on the wrong side with the wrong hand is up. That's okay. It's not about grasping the form perfectly or having it or holding it, because you never will. It's about just what is the experience that's going on. So even if you do make a mistake, how do you respond when you make a mistake? Are you really critical on yourself? Do you laugh it off? Is it like, I don't even care? Like, whatever. These are all opportunities for us to just kind of notice what's going on with this as we're engaged with it, and just having some spaciousness around it. So, Wu Wei, again, it's a very big thing in martial arts as well, Bruce Lee, be like water. That's Wu Wei, essentially, or from the Zen tradition of beginner's mind, right? Like, Wu Wei is just as could be easily translated as beginner's mind, or not knowing, don't know, don't grasp the form. And even if you've been doing this form for a long time, and you've done it over the years multiple times, and you're familiar with it, it's like, I got it, no big deal. Let go of that even. Like, what else does it have to reveal to you? What newness is going to show up again and again when we don't know what's going to happen? So, yeah, not being monkeys hanging from a branch in a tree, reaching for a reflection of a moon. Just practicing Tai Chi and Qigong. Okay, so let's do that. All right, good. So like last week, we're going to begin with just some Qigong movements, kind of warming up, moving the body, and then we'll kind of move back into our Tai Chi as Qigong form. Last week we went through all of the hand movements. We kind of finished the hand movements, and we kind of made the point that there's a foot, this weight shift and pivoting that is really the foundation of all of the hand movements. So we're going to spend some time with that, and we're even going to introduce, rather than just the weight shift and a pivot, we're actually going to pick up this foot and take a small step forward, and then step back. So, a new wrinkle. All right. But first, let's just begin with some simple Qigong. So, let's find a comfortable standing posture. And if you'd like, you can soften your gaze or close your eyes. And again, attune to the three treasures. If you were sitting before and now you're standing, you're in a new shape. If you were standing before and you're still standing, this is a new moment. So, taking the time to lift your toes off the ground so that you can find the hard parts of the bottom of your feet. And one way of thinking about it also is like, rather than like standing and sinking into the ground, it's like you're almost pushing away from the ground through the bottom of your feet, but you're not locking your knees, but there's engagement, pushing away, like using gravity to lift up and away from gravity, and making contact through the hard parts, the bony, dense parts of the bottom of your feet. They're designed to bear weight. So finding the heel, finding the outside edge of the foot, finding the big toe mound. These are our 3 points of contact. Soft knees, and and moving up through the legs. And if you're pressing down into the ground, or if you're spreading the ground apart to really find the outer edges of the foot, you can really amplify that so that you can feel the engagement that's going on there, and then back off of that so that it's less effortful, but that it's still engaged, so you don't lose that contact. Still very active, very lively, very dynamic. So again, 3 points of contact. More in the heels than the balls of the feet. Soft knees. Letting the pelvis be however the pelvis wants to be. Not tucking the pelvis forward. Allowing the natural curve to remain in the lower back. Breathing deep into the body. Noticing, are you holding some tension in the lower abdomen? Holding some tension in your hips, like gripped glutes? Can you let all of that go? Can you just let it be expansive? And then from the pelvis, we rise up through the spine and then bloom into the rib cage, and maybe taking some deeper breaths into the rib cage so that you can feel the sides and the back of the rib cage in particular really inflate with the breath. An image I really like of the diaphragm, which is the horizontal muscle at the base of the rib cage, which is the breathing muscle. I like to think of that muscle, the image I really like is an umbrella opening 360 degrees. A lot of times our umbrellas, it's just the front that's opening. So really think about the sides and the back of that umbrella opening just as much as the front, lifting the rib cage up and helping it to spread wide. Width in the rib cage creates length, especially in the lower back. So many of us have a lot of compression in our lower back, so breathing wide and lifted 360 degrees, just feeling that expansion. 3 points of contact through the bottom of the feet, especially the outside edges and the heels of the feet. Backside of the rib cage and the sides of the rib cage. Breathing into there especially. Allowing the collarbones to spread wide, almost like they're reaching for the walls on either side of us, which is going to lift the chest up a little bit, going to create more room for the lungs to breathe, for the heart to beat. And it may feel a little vulnerable to be open and upright like that. It might feel like you're like, oh, what's up? But it's probably not really that much if you're just lifting a little bit and spreading. It just might feel that way because it's not how we're used to standing. So breathing wide through the collarbones so that there's room in the shoulder girdle for them to just spread and drop. And then moving up the back of the neck to the back of the skull. And thinking about the back of the skull as if you were pushing back, like when you're sitting in your car seat, pressing into the headrest of your car seat. So the chin, it doesn't come up, it slightly tucks. The back of the neck gets a little bit longer. And breathe into that length, make it even wider and longer through the spine, from the base of the skull all the way down to the sacrum, maybe even all the way down to the heels. And again, if you feel like you're as long as you can be, spread the floor apart gently. Breathe wide into your rib cage, and you can get a little bit longer. So just standing like this, going through these postural checks, breathing into this sensation, finding width and length and depth. This is Qigong practice. You don't even have to move, really. All the movement is happening inside. So let's do some more movement. So we can bring our palms back to back and just inhale the hands up and exhale them out and around. And let's just move like this for a little while. Just letting the breath guide the movement, inhaling up, Exhaling out and around. Your knees can soften as you come down, if you'd like. Inhaling as we come up, rolling up. And exhaling, stretching. Just gentle movements to bring awareness into our bodies. What do things feel like? Maybe the chin comes towards the chest. Maybe you roll up, looking up and exhaling out. The next time the arms come up, really think about lifting through your elbows. The elbows are what pull the arms up and out. When we move from the elbows, it's actually a very good thing for the shoulders. So just playing with that. And feel free to do an audible sigh of relief whenever you feel that you want to or need to, or maybe it just happens spontaneously. Then let's refine this movement a little bit. So palms back to back, we're going to inhale up, turn the palms up and look up. And then exhale, the hands come around, make fists with the hands, press the fists together and squeeze out. And then inhale, slowly, palms up, look up, stretch, hold your inhale, and then exhale. Fists with the hands. You can make fists with your feet, you can scrunch your face up, squeeze, wring yourself out, and then inhale, fill up. Palms up, look up, exhale. A couple more like this at your own pace. Breathing deeply, holding at the top of the inhale, exhaling, wringing everything out, holding at the bottom of the exhale. Did I just say exhale? Yeah. Inhaling and holding. Exhaling, wringing out, and holding. One more like this. And then again, just inhale up, palms back to back. Exhale. And then let's let the hands come to rest in front of the lower dantian, which is the belly button. Just settling in, lifting the toes off the ground so we can find our 3 points of contact, soft knees, weight more in the heels than the balls of the feet. Breathe into the lower back side of the rib cage. Allow your elbows to reach away from each other like you're holding elevator doors open. Lift through the base of the skull, back and slightly up. On your next inhale, just let the hands float up to the level of the heart. And we'll rest here. Taking a breath, spreading elevator doors apart, spreading the floor apart in between your feet. Another big inhale. Exhale, push out in front. Reaching, and then inhale, open wide. On the exhale, send your hips back. The spine is still tall and long. Exhaling as the knees bend. Weight in the heels, toes lifted as we squat, and then inhale up. And exhale. Inhale, press down. Exhale, the hands flip back up to the level of the heart. Let's take a breath. Another inhale. On the exhale, push forward. Reach. reaching, stretching. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, hips back, knees bend. Weight in the heels as the arms sweep down and forward, and then inhale, press through the heels to come up. Exhale. As you inhale, press down through the heels of the hand, down through the heels of the feet. And then relax, back to the heart. Take a breath. Another breath in. We'll do that one more time. Exhale. In, open wide. Out, hips back, spine tall, knees bend, arms sweep down. Weight in the heels. Lift your toes, spread your knees apart. Inhale, up. Exhale. Inhale and press down through the hands. And then exhale, just float the arms up. So we'll do this several times. You don't need to inhale too forcefully, just inhaling down, exhaling up. In. And just go on your own particular journey with this movement in your body. As you're pressing down, letting the weight be in the heels of the hands and the feet, lifting through the back of the head as you exhale, just sinking through the seat as the arms float. Inhaling, exhaling. Nice and easy. As you inhale down, do bend at your wrists, stretch through your fingers, really feel the engagement. 2 more. Last one, we'll inhale. And as you exhale, just let your hands come back to your sides, palm up, and then we're going to inhale and chop our hips back. Keep inhaling as the arms sweep around in front, reach back through your hips, and then exhale to bring yourself up. So, inhaling, long, slow inhale, reach the hips away from the hands. Exhale, bring them together. So this is a hip-driven movement. The spine stays nice and long. We're not folding forward. We're not rounding our backs. We're just hinging at our hips. Inhale. Stretch the hips and hands away from each other. Exhale. Strong legs here. Inhaling. Spread the floor apart. Root into the outer edges of your feet. Press through the outer edges to come back up to stand. A couple more. Stretch. Feel free to unlock your knees. One more time. Then let's inhale the arms out to the side. Exhale down, palms back to back, and we'll inhale up. Exhale, open, and let the arms stay about shoulder level, like you're holding a big ball. Bend your elbows as much as you need, bring your arms down as much as you need to accommodate what feels good, what feels sustainable. Breathe in between the shoulder blades, behind the heart. Breathe wide, almost like you're reaching the back of each hand to the walls on either side of you, but we're not locked out. We're just stretching, expanding, reaching. Breathe in between the space between the hip bone and your armpit on the sides of the body. If If your shoulders are creeping up, see if you can let them go. Another big inhalation. On the exhale, press the hands together, and then we'll inhale wide. And exhale, finding softness, finding ease in the movement. So it's not a rigid, linear movement. It's kind of like a gelatinous, rounded movement. Like one of my teachers likes to say, like feeling the plasma of the universe. Like, what is that? Empty space as like a plasma. The hands can move towards each other until you're holding something about the size of a soccer ball. Taking a breath or two, checking back in. Lift your toes, find the outer edges of your feet. Lift through the back of your skull, lengthen your spine, breathe in the backside of the rib cage. Take a breath in, and as we exhale, we'll point our hands back at the lower dantian. Maybe lifting the shoulders up and then letting them roll down and back and just settle. Wiggle, shake as you need. Just feeling how this feels compared to how it felt the first time we did it. Where is the weight in your feet? Are you in one foot more than the other? Are you in the sides or the front or the back? Maybe the outside of one foot and the inside of another foot? And again, there's not a way that it's supposed to be. There's the way that it is. So notice how that is, and notice how noticing it might just cause shifts and changes to just happen. On the next inhale, we'll inhale our hands out in front. And then exhale, the hands can come around. Let your knees bend a little deeper so that the arms can come around and point at the lower back, the back side of the lower dantian, as much as is possible. No need to strain. Taking a breath here. On your next inhale, bring your hands up through the lower back and then onto the sides of the rib cage. Middle fingers touching the sides of the rib cage, elbows reaching wide. Take a big breath here. Breathing into your fingertips on the sides of the rib cage, letting that go. Next inhale, lift off your heels. And then exhale forward. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, the middle fingers and ring fingers come to the area of the upper dantian, the third eye. Breathe here. Relax. Remember, 3 points of contact. Soft knees. Breathing into the back of the rib cage, lifting through the back of the skull. Next inhalation, inhale and open the third eye. Exhale. Inhale out and up. And then exhale, middle fingers to Bai Hui, the top of the head, the crown chakra. And in your own time, in your own way, just gently letting the fingertips float down the midline, over the face, and coming to rest in front of the heart, in front of the acupoint Danzhong, which translates as the center of the altar, represented by a flame, like the fire in the heart, the fire of consciousness, the dynamic light of the eternally present moment. Allowing everything from the past and everything from the future to just fall in, be offered to the center of the altar, fall into that flame, be consumed by the now. We can press our palms back to back and then roll them together. Turn to point the fingertips down. Send the fingertips and the hands down to the lower dantian. We'll fold one hand over the other. Bring our hands around our waist and then down. And I'll mirror you. We'll inhale out and up and step towards the mirrors. And then the hands can float down. And just let them rest by our sides. Attune to the sensation of your body aligned between the earth below and the boundless sky above and all around. As we breathe, we are the conduit, the filament between the boundless sky and the earth. Aligned within gravity, we are literally activating piezoelectricity being conducted by the collagen crystal matrix of our skeletal system. And again, even with this feet closer together, you can still lift your toes. Find the 3 points of contact. Let the knees soften, settle more into your heels. Feel what it feels like to rest into your heel bones. If you feel any kind of imbalance, gently spread the floor apart to find the outer edges of your feet. Engage the legs. When you find that, you can relax. Breathing into the back side of the rib cage, lifting the back of the skull up and back. Find that length. That traction is what helps to amplify the piezoelectric charge. That charge will move through areas where there might be held tension, scar tissue, adhesions, decreased neurological, physiological, metabolic activity, and it will enliven it, vitalize it. This is literally what is happening. And here, let's take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, soften your knees and sink. As you inhale, we'll step out towards the windows. The arms can float up about shoulder level. And then exhale. And then we'll close towards the windows. So just inhale, arms about shoulder, head level. Foot comes in and then exhale down. Just taking your time with this. Let's open towards the mirrors. Moving easy, exhaling, and then inhale, close, exhaling down. As we inhale, we'll open back up. And the step, exhale just in the center. The step doesn't need to be big. As you inhale, you can close. You can step out a millimeter, you can step out a couple feet. Try different things. See what's the easiest thing that you can do, and then do that. Start there. Inhale. And exhale. As you open out, if you need to keep a toe on the ground and just drag on the ground to step out, you can do that. As you close, if it helps to keep your foot on the ground for balance and stability, you can do that. Open, relax, and close, and relax. One more more time. Now we'll open. And exhale. Now here, we'll just inhale, the hands float up in front about shoulder level. And exhaling. And again, just spend some time with this movement. As you inhale, move slowly so that you can really feel what's happening here. Where is the movement being initiated? Is it being initiated from your hands, your shoulders? Is it being initiated from your feet? From your legs? Are you pushing through the 3 points of contact, allowing that undulation to rise up so that you can just ride a wave? A couple more. One more time. We'll inhale up. This time as we exhale, just let the hands come down, but shift your weight towards the windows. So the way we've been doing this, we shift our weight so our toes can come up and we can pivot. And then we can rock towards that side, just following the angle of the foot. And then we can rock back, the toes can come up, shift towards the front. And then weight shift to the other side, toes come up, rock forward, following the angle of the foot. Rock back, pivot to center. Let's do one more on each side. So just follow this nice motion as you come forward. The hands can float forward and then rocking back. The arms follow back to center. Weight shift. Rocking forward and back. Back to center. So now let's do a step. So what we're going to do is just take a very small step forward. It doesn't have to be very far. Your heel of the stepping foot may not even go beyond the toes of the other foot. That's fine. And it's a little different than how we've been doing it. So when we're standing in place, we weight shift and the toes come up and we pivot. When we're stepping, we weight shift and we're taking a step. So usually when we take a step, the heel comes up first and then we just step forward. And the angle doesn't have to be as extreme, but whatever's comfortable. And then the same movement. We rock forward. We rock back, follow that momentum to just step the foot back, and then weight shift. And then we can take a step forward, rock back, stepping back. So now we have just stepping in place, rocking back, weight shift. Stepping forward, the weight shift brings the arms forward. As we shift back, that's what brings the arms back. And then we settle and step. And here the hands can be spontaneous. You know, I'm doing something simple like just letting both my hands flow out in front and flow back. But if you are feeling like something else wants to happen, you can let that happen. The idea here is to just get into this rhythm of this step. Because as we move through our Tai Chi form, this is going to be essentially the same step every time. But take your time with it. Rock forward, rock back, and then step back. Shift your weight. Take your step, rock forward. So it's a good idea to slow things down so that we can notice. Sometimes when we move fast, it helps us to kind of skip over any of the bumpy parts. We just roll quickly past them. Whereas when we move slow, we might notice, like, oh yeah, that knee takes an extra second to really just kind of feel stable, or something going on with how that particular foot's making contact with the ground, like I'm a little, collapsed in towards my arch on one foot. Something like that. So one more step out to the side. We'll rock back. So now let's go. So we can inhale our hands up and down. And again, up. This time, let's bring our window hand underneath. So we're towards the mirrors. Window hand underneath, mirror hand on top. Weight is in our mirror leg, so we can take our step. And as we rock forward, this bottom hand floats up. Not too far, about in line with the front of the foot. We might need to bring it back a little bit. Bottom hand pressing down, so there's this kind of lifting up, forward, down, even back through that back leg, all directions. And then we can rock back. And this lower hand is going to pick up the ball and bring us towards the windows. And we take our step and toss our frisbee. Rock back. Bottom hand brings us across. And we can take a step, rock forward, rock back. Bottom hand picks up the ball. As we rock forward, this bottom hand just follows the momentum of our weight. As we rock back, the new bottom hand gathers us up towards the mirrors, and the momentum is just carrying us along. Bottom hand comes over, and that leg just wants to step automatically, so we just let it happen. Rocking back. Rock back, gather everything, and step, weight shift. Rock back, bottom hand gathers in, and we're ready to go. Just a nice, easy rhythm. Rock back, stepping to center, weight shift. Step, rock back, step to center, weight shift. Rock, rocking back, step to center, weight shift. So once we find ourselves in this comfortable, steady rhythm that we've acclimated to, we pause and switch it up and turn the ball over. So now the mirror hand is underneath. And let's just play with this arm movement for a little bit, because this arm movement can be tricky. I've taught it a couple different ways, so let's do some different ways. So let's just let this bottom hand fall away. And then we're just going to bring it all the way across. And then the other hand will lift, and both hands will come across. So it's similar to the watching clouds pass, but we're going in the opposite direction. So upper palm is down, and as we come across, it kind of presses up. And then the other hand comes up, palm down, and like you're moving through water, so eventually there'll be some, the water builds up and presses the hand up, and it can come down. We're just bringing the arms across the body. Palm down with the upper hand. It eventually rises up. And this lower hand is just moving across. Yeah. So it's a simple enough movement. I like the image of moving the hands through water. If you have an opportunity to stand in, shoulder, neck high water, I would encourage you to do this in the water. Like start with your hand flat and move through the water, and it will naturally, the palm will get pushed up. And that's what this movement feels like. And even with the lower hand, as it's sweeping down and across, it's like you're pulling it through the water. Nice. There's like a little bit of resistance that you're working with, but it gives pretty easily. You can just feel the movement coming from the lower body even. This back leg helping to push us across to rotate the body. Again, the new back leg helping to rotate, push us across. So this time, when we come across, let's pause here, and the bottom hand's going to pick up the ball, and then the bottom hand will drop the ball. And then same movement, just coming across, pause, pick up the ball, and then lower hand drops the ball. Pick up the ball, weight shift really into this leg. So as we're picking up the ball, this window foot can take a step. And we can drop the ball and rock forward. Lower hand rocks back, picking up the ball, step to center, weight shift, drop the ball, and step, push. Rock back, the lower hand picks up the ball, the foot steps to center, weight shift, dropping the ball, follow the momentum to take a step, and weight shift forward. Rock back, pick up the ball, step to center, weight shift. Yeah. Rocking back, bottom hand picks up the ball, and then we can weight shift, following the momentum. Rock back, picking up the ball, weight shift. Yeah, it's the deep end of the pool. We've been doing this for like 6 weeks already. So we were all like this 6 weeks ago.
I'm like happy with the deep end of the pool.
And again, it's a nice, remembering the momentum, the form kind of teaches you the form. So here, we've got our ball, we're settling towards the mirrors, and the ball is falling away, and we've got that momentum. It's taking my heel off the ground automatically, so I'm ready to take a step. And so when I have that foot planted and I shift my weight, the arms are just coming across and forward. And then I can rock back, which brings my lower hand up to pick up the ball, pick up that leg, come to center, and I just let my weight settle. The momentum is taking me into my step. I take my step, which brings me across. And then I can rock back and pick up the ball, stepping back and weight shift. Rock back, picking up the ball, weight shift to the other side, follow the momentum into your step, let the step carry you, and then rock back. Let's do one more time towards the mirrors, and here we'll pause. So now the lower hand is going to sweep up to cross. We still have our mirror foot in front. So the hand that's closest to us is the window hand, so it comes down. And when we send it out to the side, we have momentum to step back to center. So we step to center and send the window hand forward, follow the momentum. Mirror hand now. So now we're just kind of rocking side to side, not really stepping forward or backwards, just shifting weight, leg to leg. So the hand comes down and out, and then forward. Down and out, forward. And remember, we're extending out, but we're staying connected to our center. So we're not going so far that we would fall, but we can reach, and we can just explore. How far can I reach? Maybe it's not as far as I thought I could. Maybe I should stay a little closer to the center. Or maybe my balance is good. Maybe it feels good to stand on one leg for a moment, to even lift the other leg up, playing with what's there. It's all okay. It doesn't have to be big. And And then let's take this mirror arm and sweep it all the way around, and we're crossing our arms again. So, mirror hand in front. Let's open the arms. We're going to follow the outer arm, the mirror arm, towards the mirror side, and we'll bring it around so that it's on top. So we have our ball, we have our weight. Now the bottom hand is going to trace the bottom side of the upper arm up and across. And we're reaching up and across. And this back foot is rooted, outer edge rooted to the ground, and then drawing the hands down and across the body. And they just come out to the side, and we'll take this back hand inside the front wrist. The front elbow is going to turn towards the windows, and then we'll press, rock back. Let the hands come down the front of the body, and then we'll push. And then turn to face the front, and the window hand just naturally comes to the outside. Our momentum, our weight is all over here, so nowhere else to go but back the other way. And then that window hand is going to whip around and become the top of the ball. The lower hand is going to trace the bottom hand, or the bottom side of the upper hand, and then down and across, like we're stroking the tail of a giant phoenix. Back hand to the inside of the front wrist, front elbow turns, and we push, and then rock back, and press. Come back to center, so now the mirror arm is on the front. We have the momentum to one side, so we open, back towards the mirrors. Mirror hand comes on top. Lower hand leads the movement, up and across. Stroke the phoenix's tail all the way down. It's a long tail. And then back hand inside of the front wrist, front elbow turns, push. We can't go any further this way without falling, so we got to come back. We can't come back any further without falling backwards, so we push forward. And then turn to face center. Window hand is out front, so we're going to open with that hand. It will come around and form the top of the ball. Bottom hand comes up and across. And then stroke the phoenix's tail. Back hand to the inside of the front wrist. Turn from the elbow, push, rock back, press away. One more time, crossing the arms, opening towards the mirrors. Let that mirror hand come on top, lower hand traces up and across. And stroke the phoenix's tail. Back hand, front wrist, front elbow turns, pressing away, rock back, and press. Transition, big circle, so the hands come up and over, all the way around. And now we have the window hand is the bird, the lower hand is feeding the bird. And we have, so we're here. So notice what's happening. Our weight is here. We have a light mirror foot, so we can take a step. And then we open the gate and walk through the gate. And then we rock back, step to center. The lower hand comes up to feed the bird, and we have momentum to take a step. And remember, first, it's not weight shift and then open. It's open, and then walk through the gate. And then rock back, make a beak, make a bird, step back, weight shift, and step as you open and move through. Rock back, weight shift, step, open, rock forward, rocking back, stepping back, weight shift, stepping and opening, and then move through, rocking back, weight shift. See, it's like a little tricky one, because I often want to move a little sooner than would be appropriate. It's like I want to walk through a closed gate. The name of this movement, opening the heart-mind gate. So, how often do we try to bust our way through a closed heart-mind? One more time. Step and open, weight shift. Rock back, step to center. Lower hand comes across, so now, as the lower hand comes up, the upper hand comes down, and we bring both hands across. So now we don't need to do any stepping, we're just bringing the arms across. Lower hand comes up, upper hand comes down. Both hands come across, drawing one side of the square, drawing the top and the bottom of a square, drawing the other side. Mirror hand is on top. Switching, window hand is on top. Switch, mirror hand on top, and you can weight shift if you'd like, and then rising up. Weight shift, rising, weight shift, rising up. We'll weight shift as we come to this side. We'll make our bird again. We'll come up and feed our bird. We have our weight shifted, so we can take a little step. And like with the heart-mind gate, we bring the hand down to the knee, and then we shift forward and rock back, making a new bird, step to center, weight shift, feed the bird, step, arm opens to the knee, and then we dive and rise, rock back, step back, weight shift, taking the step, opening, dragon dives and rises, rocking back, step back, hand first, then the movement, rocking back, stepping back. One more time. Weight shift, rock back, stepping back, form your ball, last movement. So weight is shifted, we can take a step, and this lower hand is going to come up, and the upper hand comes underneath like we're taking a heavy ball, taking the sun, placing it in the sky. And then we can rock back, stepping to center. The lower hand is going to gather everything up. We can take a step and then taking the sun and or the moon and pushing it up in the sky, rocking back, stepping to center. Lower hand picks up the ball, weight shift, stepping, place the sun and the moon, rock back, step to center, lower hand gathers us up. We can step, place the sun and the moon, rock back. One more time. Place the sun and the moon. This time, lower hand is just going to open like a rainbow. We can step back to center. Arms can come all the way around to cross. And then let's open. And keeping the spine nice and tall, we'll gather from the earth. Inhale up. Exhale. Gather from the sky. Open in. Exhale. Inhale, press through the heels. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. In, open wide. Exhale, gathering from the earth. Inhale, gather it up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, gathering from the sky. And exhale. Oh, I guess one more time. In and out. Inhale. And this time we'll exhale, just let the hands float down. And your hands can rest at the upper dantian level, at the middle dantian level, at the lower dantian level, whichever feels good. And again, just take a moment, lift your toes, find your 3 points of contact, soft knees, spread the floor apart. Breathe into the lower back aspect of your rib cage. Your elbows are holding elevator doors apart, lifting up through the base of the skull. Breathe here. Again, how does this feel compared to the first time that we did it? This particular posture and the whole form. We'll take a breath in together. Exhale. And we'll close towards the mirrors. So we'll inhale and exhale. Let your hands just rest by your sides. Take a moment to just drift. Just feel how you feel. Whether you got all the movements or not, doesn't matter. The physiological response is the same. There's a challenge to the nervous system, helping to establish new neural pathways and facilitate neuroplasticity. There's a relaxation response from gently rocking the way that we do with this form, calming the sympathetic nervous system, allowing the parasympathetic nervous system to come online, which is when rest, rejuvenation, repair of tissues happens in the body. Telomere rehabilitation, which facilitates a more efficient replication of cells and DNA even. And activation of the small joint stabilizing muscles, the big skeletal muscles. Again, the research has demonstrated that the physiological cardiopulmonary response of practicing Tai Chi is the same as jogging. So just letting all of this benefit be felt, be experienced, breathing it into every cell of your body. Feeling your alignment between heaven and earth. Feeling the collagen crystalline matrix of your skeleton and your joints. Not something that's fixed, but something that's very changeable, very dynamic, very adaptable. Feeling the space in and around your mind so that there's room for all that's going on without it having to run into each other. Let's bring our hands together. We can rub our palms. You can relax your stance, maybe shake out the legs a little bit. And then we'll gently massage our face up and down a couple times. Back and forth over the top of the head. Down the back of the head and around. Palms together, thumbs into the sternum as we drag the hands down over the chest to the lower ribs and the belly. And then around the waist to the lower back. we draw our hands out, shake them out. Let's pat up one arm, and then down, up the other arm, and down, around and down the back of the legs, up the front, one more time, around and down, and up. Great. All right, questions on any of that? Questions, comments, concerns, flabbergastery?
Adding a step to the bird was really challenging for my brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like stepping out.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a couple, you know, this is you know, fairly different than that. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, and that's where just doing this can be really helpful. You know, just the stepping in place and just to get that happening. And that's where the neuroplasticity piece comes in, is that it is challenging. And so it's kind of like, it feels like it should be like this, but then when I do it that way, I'm like too far forward, and so I have to keep better track of opening and then moving, even though I've taken the step. And so that's where we're really reconfiguring our brains. So it's good that it's challenging and befuddling. Yeah, embrace befuddlement. Don't grasp the image. Yeah. All right, so thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here on Zoom. I'm glad that the internet cooperated with us today. And if you'd like a recording of this class, it's recorded, except for the self-massage. So I can send it to you. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. I will be here. Yes, and it will be this weekend. We start the first phase of winter, according to the Chinese cosmology, so we can talk about that a little bit next week. Right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having your
Thanks
phone.
everyone on Zoom. Any questions or anything before we finish up? Good? Okay. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.